face. Take a good look at me now, 'cause I'll still be standing here, and you coming back to me is against all odds. It's the chance I've gotta take.
Welcome to the Disability Granted channel. You suffer a severe disabling condition. You have no job, little income if any. You have inadequate health care. You've got bills, and more bills, maybe less friends, and not much more. You need Social Security disability benefits, and you need them now. But what are your odds of winning? Are they worth investing your time and effort? Are they worth risking disappointment? After all, many say you've got no chance. But you do have a chance. If you apply for Social Security disability and you don't quit, you have a very good chance of winning. But let's play their game. Let's assume winning is against all odds. Against all odds. That's what naysayers tell us. They tell you that only 30% of Social Security disability applications are granted. They tell us 70% are denied. I take exception to those statistics. You can only get the application approvals down to 30% by including technical denials, which have nothing to do with a disability determination. They're termed non-medical denials. As examples, technical denials might include applications of non-resident aliens who aren't eligible for Social Security benefits. They might include applications by people who have no birth certificates. They may include applications with people who have invalid Social Security numbers. Technical denials also include duplicate, repeat applications, such as the guy who tried to increase his odds of winning Social Security disability by filing 50 applications. We don't count those. However, let's accept what they say as truth, at least for a minute or so. If only 30% of all applications are granted, you want to be in that 30%. You want to be in the 30% who are granted Social Security disability at the application level, but you can't be among the 30% if you don't apply. What about the 70%? Don't they lose? Don't all 70% of them lose? No, the 70% have two more chances of winning Social Security disability. They only lose if they quit. If your application is denied, you can request reconsideration. Your case continues. They also tell you this. They know about the reconsideration level. They tell you this, that only 10 to 13% of those whose applications were denied and who request reconsideration win disability benefits, only 10 to 13%. Well, you know what? You want to be in that 10 to 13% who are granted Social Security upon reconsideration. To be one of them, you had to apply for Social Security disability and requested reconsideration if denied. So those 10 to 13% who wanted reconsideration joined the alleged 30% whose applications were granted. It's a growing number, isn't it? If 87 to 90% receive unfavorable reconsiderations, did they lose? No. If your reconsideration is unfavorable, you request a hearing. You lose at the reconsideration level only if you quit. If your reconsideration is unfavorable, you request a hearing before an administrative law judge. Naysayers tell you that only 45 to 50% of those who request hearings before an administrative law judge are granted Social Security disability. They tell you that 50 to 55% lose. Well, if so, you want to be in that 45 to 50%. And you can't be in that 45 to 50% who won unless you applied for Social Security disability, requested reconsideration if your application is denied, and requested a hearing if your reconsideration was unfavorable. Those in the 45 to 50% join the 30% whose applications were granted and the 10 to 13% whose reconsiderations were favorable. My, how the numbers continue to grow. I've heard these numbers for decades. They've been used by acknowledged experts and writers, authorities. Conventional figures don't sound good. None of them give you an even chance of winning disability. They would have you believe the odds are against you at any and every level. That's what they tell you. However, if you actually run the percentages, including technically denied applications, 66% win Social Security disability. If technical denials are discounted, your odds of winning with those figures increase to 75% if you don't quit. If you get discouraged and quit, then the odds of winning are 0%. That is against all odds. Using naysayer numbers, you want to be in that 67 to 75%. And you can't win without playing the game. If you're among the 70% denied at the application level, you request reconsideration. If you're among the alleged 87 to 90% denied at reconsideration, then you request a hearing before an administrative law judge. If you're one of the alleged 45 to 50% who win disability at such a hearing, then you're one of 66 to 67% who were granted Social Security disability, including technical denials, which is nonsense, or 75% of technical denials are excluded. What do you think about that? Well, maybe you're not convinced. After all, what does disability granted know? How could disability granted be right and everyone else be wrong? Well, not everybody else is wrong. The answer is Social Security publishes statistics. They're not wrong. Who's going to be wrong? The authorities writing on their private sites, or Social Security publishing public figures and statistics? Social Security publishes statistics, and they are what disability granted uses. Disability granted doesn't use gibberish numbers repeated by so-called authorities. There are links below to Social Security statistics for your use and convenience. But let's assume winning Social Security disability is against all odds. All odds. Let's assume it's against the odds for Social Security applications to be granted. Let's assume it's against the odds to be granted Social Security disability upon reconsideration. Let's assume that it's against the odds to win Social Security disability at a hearing before an administrative law judge. That's what they tell us. So let's assume it's against all odds to win Social Security disability. The question, what do you do when it's against all odds to achieve something you've got to do? Well, let's hear from those who aren't naysayers. Let's hear from Jimmy Valvano, Jimmy V, a great man and a great college basketball coach. Speaking at the 1993 ESPY Awards, this young, dynamic, and inspiring basketball coach, Jimmy Valvano, urged a tearful audience to never give up, as he understood his fight against cancer would soon end in death. Jimmy V, as he was known, insisted on speaking at the Arthur Ashe Foundation that night. He insisted on speaking despite concerns that he couldn't stand, that he'd fall, that there would be a medical incident. And no one wanted to remember Jimmy V that way. But he insisted. He insisted on speaking. And here's a short excerpt from his speech.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't have one of those things going to cue cards, so I'm going to speak longer than anybody else has spoken tonight. That's the way it goes. Time is very precious to me. I don't know how much I have left, and I have some things that I would like to say. Hopefully, at the end, I'll have something that will be important to other people, too. Screen is flashing up there, 30 seconds, like I care about that screen right now, huh? I got tumors all over my body. I'm worried about some guy in the back going 30 seconds, huh? You got a lot. Hey, fanabla, buddy. You got a lot. I just got one last thing. I urge all of you, to enjoy your life, the precious moments you have, to spend each day with some laughter and some thought, to get your emotions going, to be enthusiastic every day, and to keep your dreams alive. And now I look at where I am now, and I know what I want to do. What I would like to be able to do is to spend whatever time I have left and to give and maybe some hope to others. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Every minute that I have left, I will thank God for the day and the moment I have. And if you see me, smile and maybe give me a hug, because that's important to me too. I've got to go, and I've got one last thing. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those three things are going to carry on forever. I thank you, and God bless you all.
Coach Valvano coached an underdog North Carolina State team to a national championship in the 1983 NCAA tournament, among many other accomplishments. To him, never giving up, even against insurmountable odds, meant being alive. It meant creating the V Foundation for Cancer Research, which he said might not save his life, but it might save his children's lives, or it might save someone that you love. For anyone who shares Jimmy Valvano's belief in life, there's a link below to his famous speech. Watch it. And there's a link below to the V Foundation, Victory Over Cancer. He's not the only one to inspire you to fight against all odds. Music legend Phil Collins, he lost his true love. He wrote it was against all odds that he could win her back. But he's saying soulfully that those were odds he would take. Entrepreneur Elon Musk discussed against all odds in an interview first broadcast by 60 Minutes in 2012. He acknowledged the odds of going into the SpaceX rocket business, not knowing anything about rockets, not having ever built anything rocket-wise. It would be insane if he believed the odds were in his favor. However, he explained to Scott Pelley, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor.
If something's important enough, you should try even if the probable outcome is failure. When something is important enough, you do it even though the odds are not in your favor.
If you're denied, you want to be in that group, not the group of quitters. 100% of quitters lose. 0% of quitters win. 37,200 of those who requested reconsideration won Social Security disability. The next chance of winning was to request a hearing before an administrative law judge. Unfortunately, another 86,500 quit. The quitters totaled 297,500. 297,500 quit after strike two. 0% of quitters won, 100% lost. You don't get a base hit if you step out of the batter's box after strike two. That's a huge, huge statistic. 297,500 who applied for Social Security disability were not granted disability benefits because they quit. The remaining 105,000 of those who received unfavorable reconsiderations didn't quit. They took advantage of their third chance of winning. They requested hearings before an administrative law judge. Of those 105,000, 68,103 of them received favorable decisions from an administrative law judge. The remaining 37,730, they lost, but give them credit, they went the distance. They didn't step out of the batter's box. They stayed in there till the last pitch. They never quit. Here's the message. Naysayers tell you the odds are against you winning Social Security disability. Even if the odds were against you, I would encourage you, don't be intimidated. Don't quit. Apply for Social Security disability, SSDI, SSI, or both. If your application is denied, request reconsideration. If your reconsideration is unfavorable, request a hearing. Present your case. Even with naysayers' figures, if you do your math, and if no one quit, most importantly that you don't quit, your odds of winning Social Security would be 75%, unless technical denials are considered as true applications, in which case your odds would only be 67%. If you don't quit, 67% is pretty good if it's against all odds. But by my calculations, using Social Security statistics, the odds of winning Social Security disability are 92.5% if you don't quit. Why hasn't anyone told you that? Don't be discouraged. Don't be intimidated. Don't quit. Argue your case. You can do this. You can do this. If you think that this video would help other disabled people, please share, like, and subscribe so that they can watch it. Thank you for watching the Disability Granted channel, and good luck.